Hello, I'm Kris Merlo Robinson. I'm a licensed physical therapist and gymnastics choreographer, and I reside in Orlando, Florida. I appreciate the opportunity to be considered for both the live online event and the radio show. Thank you. Hi, it's great to be here. My name is Kris Merlo Robinson, better known in the gymnastics community as the Posture Lady, so sit up tall. I was a gymnast for 11 years, and I practiced up to 6 hours a day, 6 days a week. On the skinny little balance beam, I spent a lot of time and walked a lot of miles. My passion lies in teaching people, no matter what age or level, about good posture and muscle balance, and encouraging them to have good self-esteem, using creativity to help them achieve balance in their life. I'm a wife and a mother of 5, including 2 teenagers, a tricky little 5-year-old, and twin boys. And, I try to balance all that out, but it really hit me when I got a diagnosis of breast cancer. And I had to go back to looking at what I had done for all those years as a gymnast. And there were lessons that I learned. When I was a little girl, about age 7, I learned to first walk on the balance beam. And my coaches taught me to look at the end of the beam and focus rather than looking down and falling. They taught me to reach my arms out wide for balance and to take one step at a time and just really go slow. They taught me to keep my chin up and be confident right from the start. And if I was going to fall, they said to bend down rather than being afraid or being out of control. And so these lessons became very important in my life. So I really had to focus in. And it was hard because I got a diagnosis of breast cancer the day before Christmas Eve. I had my 3 little ones with me. And the doctor was kind of rather rude, like, sit down, you have breast cancer, stand up, look at this. And this is a type of breast cancer that's not found on mammograms or self-exam easily. So it was a difficult diagnosis for me because my mammogram had been perfect, and this was a biopsy. Well, I focused in, I got control of myself and got out of that office and told her I would get a second opinion. And I took the 3 little guys home. And the day after Christmas, I went on a 50th wedding anniversary trip with my family. And I had to have my husband, Jeff, look at my bathing suit to see if the biopsy bruise was showing, and he would give me the thumbs up like everything's good. And the 26 other family members had no idea I had this diagnosis. So when I got back from the trip, I then had to go with realizing that I had to reach out and have my friends really give me some help and support. I had been this super mom with 5 kids, and I really wasn't receiving enough help and taking in enough help. So that was a change for me. On top of it, I just had to keep taking one step at a time. I went to 18 medical appointments by myself because my husband, as a stuntman, did not want to lose his job by going to all these doctor appointments with me and missing work. It was a rough time for me without having complete support, without people knowing everything about it. But my husband and I got through, and I kept taking that one step at a time, sometimes backwards, sometimes adjusting my feet, sometimes a little shaky and wobbly about the whole cancer diagnosis. I got to the point where I had a bilateral mastectomy, and I just kept telling myself to keep working hard, to focus, get some help, one step at a time, take a deep breath. But I noticed in the waiting room that all the women were seemed depressed with this breast cancer and kind of rounded over, and I thought, that is not me. And I was like, I'm thinking of myself as the posture lady, kind of spunky, positive, and I was like, I am not going to go down. And they wanted to do radiation and chemo, and I just said, I'm sorry, but this isn't working for me, and I went to Germany for a more gentle immune system approach. But I have to say, there were times where I just was down on my knees, just having to come back to my center like a gymnast would kind of get a grip after you fall. and I had to get back to my source and bow down to that source. So again, I had to use these lessons of looking towards my goals, you know, facing death, but looking beyond and working on my goals, setting new goals. So with my cancer diagnosis, I really had to use these lessons. And it's funny because this idea about using the lessons of the balance beam came to me during a fever therapy. So my fever was very high, and I was like, you know, all these things I've worked on for years, and all these ideas about walking on that skinny little scary balance beam can really come into play during this scary time of breast cancer. Whether you're a mom trying to get your kids off to school in the morning, or a kid who's going to a brand new school or into a brand new experience and you're nervous about it, or you could be between jobs. You could have just lost your job and you're just trying to figure out what to do. You might be a grandparent who's got a health issue. All of these things I find with my own personal experience that it's helpful to look at these lessons and use them as you go through life's challenges. So when you have a challenge face you, look at the end of the beam and set your goals. Reach out for help. Walk one step at a time, sometimes backwards, sometimes adjusting, sometimes wobbling. And keep your chin up. It's important to have a good attitude and positive attitude and just keep plugging away. And if you're going to fall, rather than go out of control or have fear, bend down, come to your center, and come to your source. Let these lessons work for you.